Hey everyone, I'm Jason, and this is your commentary on Numbers chapter 24. This chapter is broken down into two main sections. In the first section, Balaam gives his third and final blessing to the Israelites. In the second section, Balaam gives a warning to all of the enemies of Israel. Balaam saw that the Lord was pleased to give his blessing to Israel, so he didn't try to use evil magic as he had done at other times. Instead, he turned and looked toward the desert. He looked out and saw Israel. They had set up their camps, tribe by tribe. The Spirit of God came on him. Balaam spoke the message he had received from God. He said, "Here is the message God gave Balaam, the son of Beor. It's the message God gave to the one who sees clearly. It's the message God gave to the one who hears the words of God. He sees a vision from the Mighty One. He falls down flat with his face toward the ground. His eyes have been opened by the Lord." He is referring to himself here, and he's showing that, unlike before, where he said he'd listen to God and do what God says, his eyes are finally open to why God had called him there for that purpose. His ears are ready to hear what God wants to say. He is humbled before God, and that's why he's face down before him. We're actually going to see this twice in this chapter. Once right now because of the blessing he's about to give, and the second time when he gives his warning to Balak and all of the armies around that are opposed to Israel. People of Jacob, your tents are very beautiful. Israel, the places where you live are very beautiful. They spread out like valleys. They're like gardens beside a river. They're like aloes the Lord has planted. They're like cedar trees beside a stream. Their water buckets will run over. Their seeds will have plenty of water. Their king will be greater than King Agag. Their kingdom will be honored. God brought them out of Egypt. They are as strong as a wild ox. They destroy nations at war with them. They break their bones in pieces. They wound them with their arrows. Like a male lion, they lie down and sleep. They are like a female lion. Who dares to wake them up? May those who bless you be blessed. May those who curse you be cursed." Then Balak became very angry with Balaam. He slapped his hands together. He said to Balaam, "I sent for you to put a curse on my enemies, but you have given them a blessing 3 times. Get out of here right away. Go home. I said I'd make you very rich, but the Lord has kept you from getting rich." Balaam answered Balak, "Here's what I told the messengers you sent me. I said, Balak could give me all the silver and gold in his palace. Even if I wanted to, I still couldn't do anything at all that goes beyond what the Lord commands. I must say only what the Lord tells me to say. Now I'm going back to my people. But come, let me warn you about what these people will do to your people in days to come." So Balak is very upset at Balaam for blessing the Israelites. The whole reason why Balak asked Balaam to come out was to curse them. He was afraid of the Israelites. He wanted them to be weakened, and one of the ways of doing that is through curses. Balaam has been honest from the beginning. He can only say what the Lord allows him to say. So I'm actually quite surprised that after the first attempt, Balak asked him to do it again. And then the second attempt, Balak asked him to do it again. And then he's surprised that the third time he's going to bless them, the Israelites, again. It's as if his anger towards the Israelites is so much that he's hoping maybe God will change his mind. Obviously, Balak doesn't know God. Then Balaam spoke the message he had received from God. He said, "Here is the message God gave Balaam, the son of Beor. It's the message God gave to the one who sees clearly. It's the message God gave to the one who hears the words of God. The Most High God has given him knowledge. He sees a vision from the Mighty One. He falls down flat with his face toward the ground. His eyes have been opened by the Lord. I see him, but I don't see him now. I view him, but he isn't near. This is his way of saying this is a prophecy. This is something that he's certain will come true. It's so much a promise, this prophecy, that Balaam sees it as if it has already come true, but it hasn't yet. A star will come from among the people of Jacob. A king will rise up out of Israel. He'll crush the foreheads of the people of Moab. He'll crush the heads of all the people of Sheth. He'll win the battle over Edom. He'll win the battle over his enemy Seir. But Israel will grow strong. A ruler will come from among the people of Jacob. He'll destroy those from the city who are still alive. This is a multi-tiered prophecy. First and foremost, the one that they can see readily is that of David. King David comes from Israel, and he will literally destroy Moab and all of these other nations. So that's the most direct fulfillment of the prophecy. But something we see in prophecy, it's the mountain of prophecy. So when you're standing down at the bottom of the mountain of prophecy, you only see the hill that's right in front of you. And you could have multiple hills, each one bigger and bigger and bigger. But from your perspective, down here, they're all the same size. So you see one prophecy that can actually be fulfilled multiple times. And that's what we have here. First and foremost is the prophecy of King David, who will actually destroy these nations. But these nations also represent the powers at the time, the opposition, the adversaries that they're encountering. This is what we see in the book of Revelation, where it talks about the kingdom of Babylon as being a great evil. Well, Babylon did not exist later on, and yet it's understood that that was the power of the time. So it was an image of the great powers that they'd have to fight in the end times as well. So the nations that are mentioned here are just images, kind of foreshadows of what Jesus, the Messiah, is going to overcome in the final days. Then Balaam saw the Amalekites. He spoke the message he had received from God. He said, Amalek was the first nation to attack Israel, but their end will be total destruction. Then Balaam saw the Kenites. He spoke the message he had received from God. He said, The place where you live is safe. Your nest is on a high cliff. But you Kenites will be destroyed. Ashur will take you as prisoners. Then Balaam spoke the message he had received from God. He said, Who can live when God does this? Ships will come from the shores of Cyprus. They will bring Ashur and Eber under their control, but they themselves will also be destroyed. Then Balaam got up and returned home, and Balak went on his way. That is it for our commentary on Numbers chapter 24. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you guys next time.